Hi, my name is Megan, and this is Everything Lit. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about my May TBR. In April, if you saw some of my other videos, you know that I had a bit of a reading slump, which was a bummer because it's during the magical readathon and I was trying to read a lot. And so we're gonna take it easy in May because I'm also kind of cooking something up for June. If you stick around, you know, in the coming month, I might make a little announcement about a little readathon I might do. Let's talk about May. In May, I'm gonna take it easy on myself. I'm gonna let myself just kind of enjoy reading and read books that I really want to read, that I'm really looking forward to. So my TBR is just a mishmash of whatever sounds interesting. I'm gonna start with books that I have from my library. So the first book I want to read is Fearless 14 by Janet Ivanovich. This is the 14th book in the Stephanie Plum series. This series is full of crazy shenanigans, exploding cars, love triangles that are fun and well done. You know, Stephanie's got her man, and then she's got her side man who she's interested in, but he's not as reliable as her main man. And every now and then another man comes in to like flirt with her. It's just very fun. It's very over the top. Stephanie Plum is a bounty hunter, and so she goes through all kinds of crazy things to nab people who have skipped out on their bail. The other book that I would like to read from the library that I have out right now is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. I have just heard this book going around BookTube as a really good thriller, a really interesting thriller. It's kind of dark. I'm interested in Ashley Winstead's writing, and so this is going to be my first book by her. As far as I know, this book is about a woman who used to be in a cult. Her friend either is still in the cult or gets involved in the cult, and she wants to get her friend out, save her friend. I have sorted all these books into genres. So in the contemporary category, and this is a book on my backlist 2023 goals, that is Where You Can Find Me by Sherry Joseph. This is a contemporary, like, literary fiction story about a boy who was kidnapped when he was young, and then 3 years later his family finds him again, they get him back, and it's more a story of his healing than his captivity. So interested to read this. I saw this author speak at a conference, and that's how I learned about this book. So I've had it on my TBR for a really long time, and that's why it's on my backlist to get to this year, finally. I've got two middle grades that I'm interested in. One might be for a video, and one is just for fun. So the just for fun is Zachary Ying and the Dragon Emperor. This is by Zirin J. Zhao. It was on my TBR last month. I didn't get to it. It still seems fun and funny and just a light history read. You can see Vino's tail in there. So this is about Zachary Ying, and somehow the spirit of one of the first emperors of China gets intertwined with his spirit, and so they're kind of living in the same body. It sounds super fun, super interesting, and I really like this author's work. The other middle grade that I might be doing a video with is The Thing About Jellyfish by Ali Benjamin. I don't know a lot about this book, but it is about a little girl who has a friend pass away. They're pen pals, or they moved apart, but this friend passed away in a foreign country, and so she goes on a journey to go there and find out how her friend died. In the thriller category, we have The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. If you watched my Try a Chapter video, this was a close contender, but I was feeling the spring, sweet, summer child vibes. This really drew me in. It is about a woman who is a dog walker, and I believe she gets swept off her feet by this millionaire rich man, but it's kind of a Jane Eyre retelling, so he has skeletons in his closet, or maybe a Bertha in his attic. Ay. And then a book I have not hauled yet, but I will soon, you'll see it, is The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. I want another Ruth Ware. I'm craving one, and I know she has a new book coming out in a month or two, but I try not to buy hardcovers. I got a book off of her backlist, and this, I believe, is a inheritance story where this person, there's literally, so on the one hand, I like going into thrillers knowing nothing. On the other hand, this book says nothing on the back. It's just a list of starred reviews, and then delightfully chilly and, you know, page-turning mystery. So I can't even figure out what this is about. Does it say it on the inside cover? No. I mean, on the one hand, I don't want to know, but on the other hand, rude. I believe this is an inheritance story about a guy who finds out that he's inherited this house and a bunch of money from Mrs. Westaway, and he doesn't really know who that is, so he's very confused. That's what I think this is about. The next category is fantasy, and actually both of these books are potentially for videos. So one is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune, and this is, I have only read one of TJ Klune's books, and I keep saying I love TJ Klune, but I need to make that true and read more of his books. This is about a man who dies and is sent to the underworld, but there is this cafe you pass through, and he spends a week in this cafe before, like, he'll pass on to the other side. And so it's kind of a limbo place with a lot of other people who are just kind of passing through, and then the cafe owner. And we kind of learn about this holding place before the afterlife. It sounds very interesting. It sounds like it's gonna make me cry. And then we have a chunker, A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I have not read this yet. I waited for the paperback to come out because I have all her other books in paperback. I'm gonna say I don't like the cover redesigns. This is the fourth in the Court of Thorns and Roses series. I really love that series. It's the only Sarah J. Maas I've read so far. We're gonna fix that this month. But this follows Nesta, the sister of Feyre, and her journey, like, healing from trauma and coming into her power after being transformed. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but she is somehow transformed, and now she is training and learning about herself. And then we're going to talk about our YA options. So I've got How I'll Kill You by Ren DeStefano. This is a thriller revenge story about three sisters who are trying to kill someone. Oh, they kill their boyfriends. Sounds great. That's all I really want to know. But I really love this author's work. I think I've read every single one of their books so far. I've got King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. I finished season 2 of the Shadow and Bone TV series, and I just really want to get back into that world. I thought about rereading Six of Crows, but I've got new material to read, and I love Nikolai, so let's just hop right into this. Am I right? So this is a companion series. It's part of the Grishaverse, Leigh Bardugo's series that starts with Shadow and Bone and includes the Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom stories. This is a continuation following Prince Nikolai of Ravka and rebuilding his country after this huge war. Another book that you may have seen on previous lists is Spin Me Right Round by David Valdez. This is a time travel story about a boy who accidentally goes back in time and meets his dad. Next on the list, I said I wanted to get to a Sarah J. Maas, so this is Throne of Glass. I finally need to read it. I have only heard that this is a Cinderella retelling, and I have actually read the query letter that Sarah J. Maas submitted for this because I was doing research for my own books. And it's about an assassin who's been captured, and then she's forced to compete in some sort of, like, gladiator kind of competition. And finally, a book that you'll see in one of my hauls and my Come Book Shopping with Me, just a book that I will be talking about a lot, I'm sure, is Winter Soldier: Cold Front by Mackenzie Lee. I am so excited to read this. I cannot even tell you. I'm like holding in the screaming because I did not realize that Mackenzie Lee was writing a story about Bucky. So I love Bucky Barnes. I've been in the fandom a long time, and I cannot wait to see what Mackenzie Lee does with my favorite boy. And then the final category is romance. I am feeling romance in this May. I want spring, I want cute, I want happy, I want light, fluffy, delicious, kick your feet in excitement feelings. So we've got Radiant Sin by Katie Robert. This is an Apollo and Cassandra retelling. If you know Katie Roberts' writing, it is smutty and it is delicious. And her plot, I've heard that this has the plot of the series kind of becomes more intense in this one. So I'm excited to see where this series is going. I've got If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy. I love Julie Murphy. This is a Cinderella retelling about a plus-size girl going on a Bachelor-esque show, And I do actually have the audiobook from my library for this one. So we have Do I Know You by Emily Wibberley and Osman Siegemund Broca. This has been on my list since like January, since I got it. Haven't been able to read it. Gonna read it this month. This is about a couple that goes on a vacation for their 5-year anniversary, and then like something happens and they pretend that they don't know each other to rekindle their like original romance. And then a booktube favorite, a booktube darling, her newest book is already out, but I'm gonna read The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I am so behind on Emily Henry books. This is about two best friends who go on vacation once a year, but 2 years ago they had this falling out. Now they're going on like one last vacation to get, try again, give it a final hurrah because they ended on bad terms. And so they try to like fix their relationship. Another book that I have been waiting to read, It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This is about a socialite who gets cut off and is trying to make her way in the world in Washington, this super small town. And then she meets a fisherman and they hit it off. It's kind of a maybe opposites attract, enemies to lovers kind of thing. Supposedly based on Schitt's Creek, Alexis Rose. This month, I'm just going to get through all the romances that I should have read before, because I also have the Unhoneymooners on my, I almost just said playlist, on my TBR. Christina Lauren, super famous romance writers at this point. The Unhoneymooners was kind of their big breakout that everyone loved. This is about two people who don't get along, but their siblings are getting married. At the wedding, everyone gets food poisoning. The married couple cannot go on their all expenses paid free honeymoon that they like won. So their siblings, take a bullet for them and go on the honeymoon in their stead. So these two people who don't get along are now forced to be on vacation with each other. And it sounds like hijinks ensue. Another author I love, Carrie Winfrey. I want to read Very Sincerely Yours. This is kind of a You've Got Mail retelling. These two people start writing letters to each other and they don't know that they know each other in real life. Shenanigans ensue. The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. This is about a woman who has been corresponding with her favorite author. Similar vibes, sending letters and emails. And then a man moves in next door that she's kind of crushing on, and they don't know it's each other. It sounds adorable. And I love, here's the thing. When you have a story with, like false identity or like lying where the stakes are like relatively low, that's what I like. When, you have two people who are like friends in one format and then they meet in real life and they don't know they're already friends, but they hit it off. Like those kinds of things where, they think they're in some sort of like love triangle and it's really just them the whole time. I love that stuff. What I don't love is when one character is like hiding something big from another. That's not a good time. This sounds like a good time. And the last book on my TBR, and gosh knows, I'm not going to get through all of these, but these are kind of the options. These are the books I'm excited about this month. The last one is The Fiancé Farce by Alexandria Bellafleur. This is about a billionaire woman who can't get her inheritance unless she gets married. So she finds someone willing to marry her. So they have this fake engagement, and then I'm sure it becomes, real affection because this is a romance. It sounds adorable. I love the cover is just beautiful. I'm so excited. I got this. It was a pre-order and I got this and I opened it and was just like, oh, I want to read it right now, but I held back. We're going to read it in May. Definitely not getting to all of those this month, but those are the things I'm excited about. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you're excited to read this month. And if you like this video, you could subscribe, see what the readathon I'm talking about is in June. But really, you can do whatever you want. And I'll see you next time.